The true stick.
Veneers.
Yeah.
No, these are my regular teeth.
Word?
Yeah.
You closer. Let me see.
Why'd you make that face? Why would you do that?
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here.
Y'all get my nerves.
I appreciate the participation. He said go with this shit. All I told him was the light wasn't on.
Yo.
Whatever internet service he got, he need to contact them on Twitter.
Who said?
Yeah, how you know?
Cause there's always some shit going on with sad shit.
He always trying to do something. He be trying to smoke a cigar one day, drink beer. Just get your shit in order, bro. That's all you gotta do. All right, he back, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead, Bubba. Yo, you good?
Yeah, man. I'm trying to move the shit around. You know what I mean? Trying to get shit straight for you.
You be having that worry look, nigga. Like,
hey, man, listen. Tired, bro.
All right, that's what's up, man. Might be risky. DJ Hemp the Stampede. We are in the building. Everybody filing into the live. Welcome. It's Wednesday. This might be risky. I think we got a good one for y'all tonight. Eddie, what's shaking? How you, man?
Chilling, dog.
Everything good. Seb, what up, though?
What's good, man? What's good with you?
Yeah, man, I'm doing the right thing. What's in that red cup? Is that a red cup, Eddie?
Nah, this is my Kevin Samuels Red Bull.
Oh my God! God bless the dead, bro. Mary Berry, fine. Yes, thank you.
What's up?
Last time, what's your name was last time? It was like Ralph. It felt like a Ralph.
No, it wasn't. It was just Barry.
Oh, all right. Q, what's up, Q? Why you looking so cool today?
I'm just chilling. You know what I mean? I'm trying to match the vibe on the outside with what's going on in the inside. You feel me?
Everybody high.
Damn, man. Nay, what's up, man?
What's up?
So this your first week of being is it middle aged? What is
I'm
it?
40 and I am proud of it. Thank you.
I know, but how does it feel now? Like they
It
sent that
feels
mail.
wonderful.
Did they send that mail to your house?
And what mail?
You know what mail I'm talking about. Start with an
They
A.
do
end
be
with a
sending
P.
you stuff talking about you got to get certain checkups. No lie. I was like, damn, already?
Indeed.
I love it here.
Nah, yeah, definitely, man. 40 look good on you, man.
Right? I know.
You supposed to say thank you. See, niggas is
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come
on. But nah, thank you, bro. Thank you.
What up, bro? Alex.
Hey, Hamp.
Yo, you wasn't on one day, but niggas was really talking bad about your contractors.
What? Oh my gosh.
No, they've been working in your house for 2 years.
Still not done.
I know. They've been working in your house for 2 years.
Don't exaggerate now. Don't exaggerate.
Where did you get these fucking Mexicans? Where did you get these fucking high-end Mexicans from where they don't work 7 days a week?
What is done looks good, but you know, they just
bougie-ass Mexicans you got, man. My Latino brothers that I use, they got the 2 bathrooms done in a week and a half.
Well, send them over, please. Send them over.
Shout out to my Latino brothers. Go lay down. Yeah, thank you. Adrian, how you?
Yo, I'm good, man. I'm good. How you holding up over there, man?
I'm doing the right thing, man. This nigga need help putting the pajamas on. Just lay down. I'll help you after. Kids is dumb, bro. I'm telling you. This nigga been putting these same pajamas on for 6 months and still can't figure this shit out.
Bruh.
Man, oh man. All right. We here, man. Listen, like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend. Do me a favor. Hit the like button right now if you care, and share the stream, share the channel. We are currently streaming on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and And YouTube, of course. For the best experience, I recommend that you watch on YouTube, as we can actually see those comments, and those are the comments I often share. If you're on Facebook, they don't actually populate to where I can see them. So, head on over to the YouTube for the best experience. All right, first topic, because I think it kind of, I don't know, it may be relatable, it may not be, but I'm a firm believer in balance. And in my belief system, there's a time for everything: peace, war, right? Life, death, so on and so forth. So I wanted to ask this question: is love good? Is hate bad? Is love good? And is
Bruh.
Yo, Q, I'm trying to be serious, bro.
Is love good or hate bad?
No, Eddie, why you blinking so much?
I was watching some shit. I'm not high today.
Yo, so is love good and is hate bad? I'll let it marinate for a second. Is love good and is hate bad? If you feel prepared, you may answer first.
I would say hate is bad just because hate requires you to function at a very low frequency, and you have to deliberately put yourself in darkness in order to hate. Is love good? Love is not consistent. I would say like is stronger than love, but love is something that flows.
Now, do you believe in agape love or unconditional love?
And agape has so many damn definitions.
Well, in terms of the Greek that we most know.
It depends, man. Life is such that you don't see consistent type of agape in most people.
Not even family?
Nah.
Parents excluded or included in that?
It depends on your parents.
Well, you speak from your experience.
For me, it's all good. My parents, I think, depending on how you were raised and what your parents were like, whether or not they were healthy folks raising you, or there were some tumultuous situations in your upbringing. It all depends.
Okay. Q, is love good? Is hate bad?
All right, I guess I ain't got to get prepared. I'm just prepared. I look like I knew the answer.
Yeah, your
Okay.
glasses.
It's giving. I think that if you look at it from a contextual place, love and hate can both be bad and good. Like, you could love something too much, such as an addiction, and that could be bad because it's not done with a level of what's the word I'm searching for?
Control, like self-control type?
No, I think everything has to be done in moderation. That's the word I'm looking for. Or even with hate, I think that there's an appropriate type of hate to have for certain things, like an extreme dislike, if we're looking at it, like I said, from a contextual place. So, yeah, I think both love and hate can be good and bad.
Do you think addiction is necessarily love, or it's just like because if
You could love something until it forms into that.
Okay. But at a point of addiction, do you love it anymore, or you just need to have it at a point?
Well, yeah, the addiction is something completely different. But I think you can love something to the point where, or even maybe the word I'm searching for is like an infatuation for it. Whether that's a person, whether that's a thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think balance is key, because you're talking about two very extreme, how we look at them as emotions. But I do get where you're going. To Eddie's point, if you're just looking at it from a vibrational scale, hate is at the bottom of that, love would be at the top. And that's the obvious. Love would be good in that scenario and hate would be bad. But I think I see where you're going with your question. So It's my answer.
Okay.
Life's like cancer, and I'm serious.
Bruh.
Adrian, what you think? Is love good? Is hate bad?
I don't think neither one is good or bad. I think they just are. Right. When I think when you look at good and bad is more so like in the eye of the beholder with how they see it. So I don't think either is good or bad. I think they're both beneficial. I think they're both needed to a degree, but I wouldn't say either is good or bad.
Okay. I'll let it marinate for a second. Alex, is love good? Is hate bad?
It can be. I think more than anything, they can both be exhausting. It takes energy to hate something or someone, and it takes energy to love and maintain that feeling of love and being in love with something. And as much as you love something, it can easily turn into hate through exhaustion. Like I love you so much, but loving an individual or something can be exhausting. But I can't really say that it's good or bad, but other than exhausting for both of them.
Okay. I feel like I got two non-answers back to back, but I'm being a bigger person tonight. So
I appreciate that.
Said, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Is love good? Is hate bad?
To me, love is great. You know what I'm saying? If you find yourself in the right position where you can actually find genuine love, then you know what I'm saying, that's something special and it's something hard to find. Because a lot of people think that they have love. It's more infatuation with a situation than actual love. So it takes too much energy to hate for me. So I try not to hate anybody, try not to waste my time with hate, try not to deal with hate. But love, if you can find it, I don't think it's nothing better.
So you think love takes less energy?
Anything worth having is going to take a little bit of effort. But I mean, they always say it's easier to smile than to frown. Takes more muscles to frown than to smile. So I'm gonna go with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, it's hard being a bigger person. Okay.
Well, what you be a bigger person about that one for?
You know.
Yeah. Okay.
Welcome, Shan. How are you?
I'm well. Pilates ran late. So
Yeah, you ain't even sweaty. You don't even look tired. Stop wasting your
listen,
goddamn money on
it
that
was restorative. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Mute your mic. Mary. Is love good? Is hate bad?
I feel like it depends on who it's coming from and who it's going to.
Break that down.
So if I think that I'm loving somebody in a way that's, love, maybe they won't take it the same way. So even though my intentions are good, with the love being good, somebody else may think it's not. So I feel like just whether it's good or bad is individualized on who's giving it, how somebody else is perceiving it, and things like that.
So, no.
I feel like it can be either or. It depends on how the other person is receiving it. Just because I think love is good and I'm giving somebody what I think is good love, it doesn't mean they're gonna think that it's good.
Okay.
Like it depends on
I'm not asking no more substantive questions ever again. This shit is crazy.
What do you think, Hamp? What do you think?
You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Damn. Shani, is love good? Is hate bad?
I don't think either one of them are good or bad. And because they are necessary to the human experience, I think both are emotions that are necessary for you to protect yourself. If we really think about how our emotions come out, like I might need to express love in some way to fulfill myself or to protect something or to control my emotions, something like that. I may have to grow to hate something to protect my existence, to protect my mental state. I'm not a natural person to hate at all. And when I still have a therapist. When I went to my therapist, she literally told me I had to learn how to get angry and to hate certain things so I can disengage with them. But it's just a temporary emotion to protect myself. And then I can move on. Like, so I think they're both necessary emotions that have to happen. And if you don't engage with both of them, there's other issues that could pop up because they're used for protection to me. Any emotion you have is used for protection.
I think that argument is fragile just because if we throw in police, right? What if a police officer is killing niggas left and right and he's using hate as a means to protect himself, right? I felt threatened, so I shot these niggas, right? So it's just like, I think it's a sensitive thing, but I think that argument is a little fragile in terms of like utilizing your fear or hatred to like eliminate certain things when it's just a matter of more so building coping mechanisms to relieve yourself of things that aren't good for you.
I didn't say the actions were right. So going out and killing somebody is not right.
No, I'm talking more of the methodology that you explained about hatred and utilizing that to.
So for the white man who may have had bad experiences or been brainwashed as a child or with black people, been told they're a certain way, had a bad experience with a black man one time that threatened his life, threatened his family, he felt vulnerable or whatever. His hate grew out of that to protect himself in some way. Now, taking an action against a black man, totally wrong. But himself, that emotion came out of a sense of trying to protect himself. Now, the actions weren't right.
But you say that's righteous, though?
What do you mean?
To hate out of protection?
I think it's a necessary emotion sometimes that kind of grows with us depending on our experiences.
Okay. You think more people ended up in the grave over love or over hate? Anybody?
Yeah.
Love. Definitely.
Both of them.
But if you had to choose,
what happened?
If you had to choose, right? Like, do you think people ended up in the grave more over love or hate?
I'd say
that's a hard one because
it's hate.
It's like, you almost feel like you look at it from a larger scale. Hate is,
but a lot of times hate comes out of love. Like I feel like you can't have a strong hate for somebody unless you've loved them for any reason before.
So in gang banging, niggas love each other to the point of hate to shoot them.
You can love killing. You can love gang banging.
Y'all saying some shit. Y'all
love it to the depth of yourself.
All right.
Well, like this
is becoming convoluted, as Eddie would say. I'm gonna mute myself, okay?
Well, let's just think about something more intentional, like religious wars.
Man, took my example. That's what I was about to say.
Well, go ahead, Eddie, expound on it.
Yeah, because I was going to mention the Crusades, right? Christians versus the Muslims, right? Muslims love their religion. Christians love their religion. The Crusades were one of the most bloodiest wars ever, and they did it out of love for what they believed in, right? So they might have, I guess, built some hatred toward the other side, but it was more driven by the love of their quote-unquote savior, right?
Mm-hmm.
As I say, love is something that drives more people to do wild shit. There's a lot of men underground because of their lovers, right? Like.
So then why did I have to choose when I said both of them?
No, I agree with you when you said both of them.
Oh, okay.
But that was also my reasoning behind is love good. So to whoever would have been fighting for their whoever, to them that love at that time that they felt for whoever was good. But on the other side looking in, it's bad. So that's why I was saying when he asked, is love good, is hate bad? It could be either or.
You can love to the point where it becomes unhealthy. That's what it sounds like you're kind of getting at.
Yeah.
Said I saw you on mute. You want to say something?
Oh no, I mean I agree with it. I mean I picked one just off the simple fact that I know Hamp on getting to his little bag But like they say, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I can love someone to death, as they say. So it's a love type hate thing. And when they mention the gang situation, the love in that aspect is that they love their colors. They love their gang. They'll die for their gang because they love their gang that much. So they hate those who oppose their colors, their gang, so forth and so on. So when you say is love or hate, love versus hate, another one, it's a thin line between love and hate, as they say. So I mean, they're borderline the same at times.
That's exactly what I said, and
Hey,
you
listen,
over there talking about it's convoluted. I said
exactly.
that.
That's why I say, you know, what I'm saying you try to dodge Hamp with his, you don't want him to bang his head too hard on the mic over there. But at the end of the day, it's a very thin line within the love of something and how it can make you hate something else.
So hold on. So Miss Nay, repeat what you said verbatim.
When I was saying, I was talking about the game you love it to the death you. So you love so much, and then you said, oh, it's getting convoluted. How was it getting convoluted? I was just saying you can love and hate, it's both. But you can love something to the point that you like, I'm a gangbang so hard because I love my set. I love my colors. I love killing. I love gangbanging. And then you came up it's convoluted. So
Because I think what it sounded like was you was trying to make your point that more people die because of love.
I was.
But then you just said both of them. So I digress.
Anyway.
With the say less shirt on.
I think more people have died because of love, though. I really do, and I don't think it's that close either. I mean, aside from the slave trade where 1 million of us died, that's certainly a lot of people. But I think with the religious wars over the years and, Allah Akbar, right? God is greatest. I think a lot more people have died for the love of something.
But their love made them hate other shit. You know what I'm saying? So like even with the slave thing, they loved their race. They felt like their race was, you know what I'm saying, above everything else. The love for their race made them hate us as a people. So again, it's still
Who?
White people.
What make you think? I think it's just trade, right? They had an opportunity with the people they felt lesser than that were surrounded by other people that weren't the same people as them, and they took advantage of it.
But you see people now starting race wars, like, I'm going to shoot up this church for the love of my white people. Like my dislike of it. People, you think about race wars, you think about people killing on behalf of their children, their spouses, their politics, their guns, their beliefs about guns. Like people have a love, and with love comes the feel of and the need of wanting to protect it so much that I'm willing to do extreme things to protect that. So that's when we talk about sometimes you love something so much that it can be unhealthy.
Yeah. But I'm saying in terms of what Seth and I were talking about, the slave trade, I don't think that was about the hate. I think it was about opportunity to steal these people and sell them. Now, to your point, Alex, yeah, maybe the skinheads say I love my race and therefore I have to delete the others. I think that's a fair point. There. Do you think it really does take more energy to hate? Like, do you think hate takes a lot of energy?
Hate is purposeful. It's a purpose. You have to put effort into hating something or someone.
But why?
I mean, it's just what it is.
Do you hate rapists?
What do I hate rapists? I don't hate a person until I don't hate anyone.
You don't hate rapists?
I don't hate anyone.
Okay.
I mean, that's just what it is. Like I say, I don't put the energy into hating anyone. Hate is when you have hate for somebody, you letting that consume something of you. When you're actually hating.
So I think any man who could do that to a woman, I hate them. And if I ever get face to face, we're gonna have to see. So that doesn't take me a lot. That's just pretty matter of fact. I have daughters. I know how vulnerable women are. I have a mom. I have sisters. So I hate rapists. Period. Don't take that much.
Okay, how about women that are rapists? Because you said men.
I ain't talking
So are
about
you
women.
okay? So you want to hate the woman as much as you hate the man that rapes a woman? You know,
No.
whatever. Okay, I was just asking.
Yeah, probably not. I wouldn't assume so. See, I can answer. So I can deal with men in a particular way.
I get it.
You know. What do you think? What do you
I
think,
mean,
Barry?
you said a rapist. That's why I said
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I think it take more energy to love. It don't take nothing for me to hate nobody, but I don't really, it ain't like like hate where I gotta like I don't know. I don't care about people, but like if I love you, I care about you a lot, and it takes a lot because I want to make sure you're okay. I'm gonna pray for you. Like I'm gonna be there for you when you need me. Like that's a lot of energy into people when you love them and care about them. Like that literally can consume you. But if I hate you, I don't care what you're doing. I ain't praying for you. I ain't doing nothing for you. So that don't take no energy out of me.
What you think? What you think, Nay?
I ain't gonna lie, maybe because I'm 40. Like I don't care. Like as far as hating, whatever. I don't got time for all that. I feel like that's exhausting, too much energy. I don't have time to hate you. You have to do something for me to be like, oh, I hate you, I guess. As far as love, I'm a loving person, so I'm just gonna love you. You have to really, really do something for me to be like, yeah, I don't really rock with you. But even then, it's like, okay, I just don't rock with you. I don't care anymore. I don't know. Maybe that's just where I'm at now, but I've never really been like that before. It's now, it's that 40 I'm trying to tell you. You don't care.
I might.
You just don't care. I think it's too much energy. Like I'm just a loving person. I just want to love people. And if I really don't rock with you, then okay, I don't hate you. Keep it moving. I'm gonna keep it moving, but
And I probably need to go sit on somebody's couch because I don't really have either feeling ever. Like
girl.
I didn't grow up with an I love you type household. And I'm like, I actually have to mentally express that emotion. Like I have to be present with it to like be like, okay, so this is what this is. Like that's like love between friends. All my friends know I'm weirded out. My homegirls who we've been friends for years, if they say I love you to me, they're doing it to be funny because they know it weirds me out. So like I just don't have either emotion. Like I'm a good person. I'm kind. I do right by people, but I don't have the energy to hate anyone. So I can't say I hate often. And I don't all this over the top stuff people do, in the name of love and all this other. I can't label it. I just am good to people. That's it. So I don't identify with either emotion, quite honestly. But I also don't have kids. Maybe when I have kids.
When you
So what
have
if you
kids,
with a
You
man
love
or
you?
something like that? Like you making love and he
I
clapping
love
the
you.
cheeks.
Oh, the girl you love.
You don't tell him you love him?
Huh?
If you with a man or whatever, like and he clapping them cheeks in the middle of, you don't look in his eyes and tell him you love him?
Not unless we've crossed that love, like real love, I guess that's what it is, in a different
You gotta
form.
love him to get that. What if it's a serious, nice little orgasm? Just like, damn, I love you. Just
Those
let
are
me
not the
know.
words out of my mouth. No.
My
That's not
goodness.
the words I use.
Oh man.
I'm just being open and honest, a different perspective, but like it's something I've struggled with my whole life. Like I don't have those type of emotions. Or at
Yeah.
least labeled like what I was told they're supposed to feel like. So
Yeah.
I got a best friend with a copay. It's fine.
Okay. Interesting, man. Interesting. Any final thoughts on this topic?
I think with hate and love, I think we're willing to put more energy into love because it's beneficial to us. It gives us a good feeling, there's a reward to it. But I think with dislike and hate, I feel like hate is an extreme. If I hate you, I'm taking the time to think about you. You're consuming my thoughts, and you're going to make me want to react erratically. Versus like Nay said, I can dislike you, but I don't hate you. Like it's just too much. It's just too much energy that I don't want to waste.
Yeah, I think the hate that comes to your head is like if somebody burned you or done something wrong to you. like, you know, someone that you loved, and then it converts to hate because of what they did to you. I think that's the hate that consumes. But I think just hating stuff that you're supposed to hate doesn't take that much energy.
But even with that, I feel like I would be like, if it was an individual, I feel like you disgusted me more than anything. Versus hate. When I think of hate, I think it's something like when I see you, it's on site, or like I'm going out of my way to be bothered and concerned with what you're doing. Versus, you know what, I don't really care for that person or that situation. I'm choosing to preserve my energy and not be bothered with it. But maybe the initial and the right then and there in your face emotion or reaction is like, I hate you, so I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and it's going to make me feel whatever way.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. Good final. Listen, man, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Do me a favor, hit the like button right now, share the stream. If you're on Facebook, that's cool. If you're on Twitch, Twitter, that's cool. But the best experience is on YouTube. All right. We have one more threshold to hit until we get monetized. So shout out to that. So everybody continue to subscribe. All right. Follow us on IG too at This Might Be Risky, man. All right. Next topic. Let me share my screen. Give me 1 second. All right. Here. You guys see my screen?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm gonna play this video.
Oh, this shit here. Oh, let me mute.
Folks, my name is Miranda. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a licensed professional counselor and sex therapist in Erie, Pennsylvania. And today I want to talk about minor attracted persons. And I want to talk about minor attracted persons because they are probably the most vilified population of folks in our culture. And most folks are making incorrect assumptions about them without actually knowing much about them. And those assumptions create harm for an already marginalized population. You may have noticed that I'm using the term minor attracted persons, sometimes abbreviated to MAPS, instead of the more commonly used term pedophile. And I'm doing this because the term pedophile has moved from being a diagnostic label to being a judgmental, hurtful insult that we hurl at people in order to harm them or slander them. I also prefer person-first language that recognizes that any label we might apply to a person is only part of who they are and doesn't represent everything that they are. We are all people first with many different facets or parts of ourselves, and this includes folks who are attracted to minors. So to start with, let's talk about what a minor attracted person is or who they are. This term simply means that the person has an enduring sexual or romantic attraction to minors. They've not chosen this attraction, just as the rest of us have not chosen whatever our attraction is. You don't get to choose to be heterosexual or to be gay or whatever you are. And you don't get to choose to be a minor attracted person. Some minor attracted persons are attracted to a specific age range of minors, while some are not. And some minor attracted persons are exclusively attracted to minors and are not attracted to adults at all. Some minor attracted persons are also attracted to adults.
It's just sick.
All right.
It's crazy that you ended with that.
That kind of slipped in there. Thoughts. Minor attracted persons. Has it gone too far? I want to get. Let me get Adrian in here.
Well, you know, a few shows ago, you know what I'm saying, we talked about this, right, Hamp? About opening this Pandora's box, and then once we open it up, it's no going back. So if we're gonna start accepting just anything, then we can't go back and now put the walls up, right? Because it's crazy, and I get the whole attraction thing, right? So if it does work that way, because I know I'm attracted to women, so if it's something that can I choose, probably not. So if you can't choose what you're attracted to, you still can choose your decision making though, and what you do. So I'm not trying to make it easy for nobody who touches a child. Like, period. I have no sympathy for you. Period. 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 But this is what happens with America being so progressive, which it is, but progression is not a good thing, which it isn't in this case of America, to where we need to fear for our children and fear for the future, because so much bullshit is being fucking accepted and they're not going to know which way to go, yo. So we tried to warn them here, man. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to listen to us, though. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to listen to us.
I remember that convo. I remember the whole progressive.
Yeah, your truth is your truth. So whatever you want to do and whatever's your truth, just live it and be happy. This what we get with the everybody just do whatever they want and just be happy based on that, and let's not make decisions based on the collective anymore. To where everybody's going every single which way, and we all have to accept it, and we all have to be like okay with it, even if the shit is stupid and makes no sense at all.
Adrian, you being emotional. Ain't nobody say that on that show. So stop.
Nobody said what?
Nobody said nothing about do what you want to do and everybody live how they live and be happy.
What?
This
you said
progressive.
You have your truth and live your truth and be happy and do whatever makes you happy. Whatever's your truth. Alex, I'm gonna ask Alex. Am I right, Alex? You was on that show. Am I right, Alex? Oh, okay.
You did. But you gotta provide the context if you're gonna bring it back up, Adrian. I'm just saying. But provide the context.
No. The context was, regardless of what we were talking about, her thing was whatever is your truth, live your truth, and be happy. Fuck what everybody else kind of talking about. And my point was, if you do that, it's gonna lead to so many more things. And then when you're ready to draw the line, you can't. Case in point, ain't no drawing the line now. So now we drawing a line after we accepting everything and saying everything cool.
But Adrian, again, the context. So if you're living your truth as a pedophile, then that's who the fuck you are. Nobody's saying now with that go touching children. Own who the fuck you are. If you're a murderer, you're a murderer. Okay, I kill niggas. That's what I do. Own who the fuck you are. That's it. It doesn't say go grab a gun and go shoot somebody, because Adrian said that once you accepted that that's who you are, now you go out and kill people. That's extreme. Just live your truth. Be who you are. Stand in it.
Now you don't got to act on it. Don't act on no dumb shit that's bad for us as a whole.
I concur, and I think everyone on that show did. That's why I said you're being emotional.
I don't know.
No, it wasn't quite that clean. You were saying, because I think here's the key to that Q that you just kind of switched. You said live your truth. So are you saying that live your truth unless people deem it perverse? Because you're saying don't act on it if you're a pedophile, right? That's what you just said. So you're not saying live your truth. You're saying speak your truth.
Walk in your truth. Be who you truly are. Be who you truly are. If that's who you are, own it.
But don't do nothing.
Nah, if you're not gonna anything that would inflict harm on somebody, yeah. Because we're not gonna go to that extreme either, where you niggas gonna be like, so if you're homosexual, don't live a homosexual lifestyle. This Q you talking to. I'm not saying don't act in whatever it is that you feel, but if you're doing something that's going to inflict harm on somebody, that's just a no-brainer. So we out here just doing everything that hurts other people. No, hurt yourself. That should be some personal shit. You should not be out here doing anything that physically hurts someone else.
And so you're saying harm is like just obvious stuff, right? You're saying like if you live your truth or you want to kill people, just don't do it. Or if you,
no, I'm saying you would have already done the action.
You like adolescence, just don't do it. But live your truth. It sounds like
no, because that doesn't apply. Because it doesn't apply to everything. You guys are trying to lump it to everything.
No, we're not. We're
So you
trying to
want to
get
be a fat,
clarifying
obese
questions
motherfucker
because
eating
you said
McDonald's every day? Just do it. Like, no, no one's saying
Now
just do
now
extreme
you
shit.
being emotional.
Okay,
So
but I'm a
if
female.
you
I could do that. The fuck?
that's
Oh God.
that's fair. nigga pulled that card. Hey, shit, it
Man,
happened.
we was doing so good. God damn.
Go ahead. Somebody can jump in if they want.
Yo,
All
I
right,
got I
so
got to tap into my Caribbean side, man. Fire upon pedophiles, man. Babylon ting that, man. Yo, and it's I get the segue of the love hate. That's one thing to hate on. A pedophile motherfucker could die slow, die fast, just die. Because like I'm thinking about this from the perspective of educator as well. 12 years working in, pre-kindergarten all the way to um, graduate school, right? Working with little kids, adult, all of that, right? My mind is always on the protection of children. So for me, that shit is a super no go. They're attempting to go back to what is a more of a historically Arabic Euro centered lifestyle where for them it was normal to for kids, right? They're trying to bring that shit back. They want their culture to be fully in the open and all of that, right? That is not traditional to melanated people, right? It is not. It's not in our art. It's not in our music. It is not in any of that shit. Does it happen? Sure. Does it happen in the numbers that it happens in Euroculture? Absolutely not, right? To the degree now that they're calling it something else in order to soften the blow and have it be more accepted, right? For the people who are completely unaware, they're beginning to infuse it into the new, quote unquote pride flag, right? You see all these colors and people don't really ask like, what does all that mean? They're beginning to put that in the flag, right? But they've been doing this for the last 20 some years, right? They're different organizations, NAMBLA being one of them. Their logo is like a butterfly or whatever. They use light blue when you're attracted to little boys, and
Are
they
you
use light.
serious?
I'm dead serious. Like this is shit I just randomly look at because again, I take the protection of kids serious, right? So they've been at this for a while, right? And a lot of the people in the legislature who are, or have the power to push some of these things on, they do so privately and quietly, right? So it's subtle. So they're hitting your subconscious first, right? There goes a flag right there, right? So like at the top, it's more for if you're a young boy attracted person. The bottom you see the pinkish is more for like if you're for like little girls or whatever. And the middle is just like you kind of just out here. You could swing either way when it comes to the kids. And it's like people don't take the time to read these things, but if you pay attention to the overall LBGT flag, some of those colors are already in there, and some of the marketing is very subtle, but they are beginning to open it up, right? Not to take up too much space, but my overall answer is just like fuck that shit. Them niggas could die. And that's for men and women, pedophiles. So we're clear. So we're not convoluted. All right.
So you feel that applies to all pedophiles?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And by
Every single one.
pedophile, you mean somebody who would touch it, someone under the age of 18, correct?
There's no age limit. If you're a pedophile, you're a pedophile, right? And we're looking at kids who pick up that type of behavior in their homes, right? And this is why, black people would say, like, make sure you watch your kids no matter who it is. Because now you got your kids around their cousins at a family reunion, and now your cousin, unbeknownst to your child, is being touched by the uncle that they live with. And now they over here touching your kid, not because immediately they like are looking to abuse your kid, but it's just like, yo, what the fuck? Where did you pick that up from? Now I got to go see the adult that you learned that from and clap that motherfucker. And now this child needs therapy. My child needs therapy. Like that type of shit. Like, nah, keep your kids close. And like this type of shit is where we don't immediately assume that this is something that happens within our communities, but it does, and primarily with family.
So you good with your half of your family being wiped out if that was the case?
I don't want to answer in cue extremisms. But if I find out that an uncle, even an aunt or something like that, and I'm tasked with addressing it, then I got to do what I got to do. Because at that point, how far does the abuse extent? You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where we're so used to not having that conversation. Because if we're going to be open about it, like, I'm sure some of us know a pedophile motherfucker in our family right now that a cousin or something entrusted you to be like, yo, like, don't ever talk about this, but, Auntie May May touched me that one time, or Uncle Ben, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like, did you address it? That motherfucker's at Thanksgiving every day, slobbering down the turkey. But I'm just saying, I'm speaking for me, Q. I'm just like, if I know some shit like that, yeah, I might do some time.
I'm saying that because, like, based on your example, it sounds like it's more of a like 1 in every 500 people is a pedophile. I think it's more common than what it appears.
Yeah,
and
I
if
didn't
it
give no
was to be
statistics.
that,
I am giving you outright. I just found out this motherfucker touched this child at this particular time. That
right. So
motherfucker's in, like you
that's
said.
why I asked the question. Like,
Okay.
so you'd be okay with half of your family if that was the case. Like, I'm not saying that's in your family, but I'm just saying, like, the numbers could be pretty high there of people who actually function from a place of pedophilia. Because I think that, and this is my understanding of how that works from a psychological perspective, but they say that people are stuck at the place of their last trauma. So to your point where you're talking about the child who was touched by the uncle who then touched the other child, that child who was touched by the uncle would be stuck. So say that happened at 12. They mentally and psychologically would be stuck at 12. So as they grew into their adult, they'd likely be attracted to 12-year-olds.
Right.
So they
That's
created
the
another
excuse that R.
pedophile. So a
Kelly used.
pedophile created another pedophile.
No, I hear you. That's the excuse R. Kelly used, and we see where he's at, right? And even his nasty ass sister that raped him just recently came out of just like, oh, he's not guilty. Like, it's really the people around him. But he openly stated that his sister raped him. So there's a consistency in a path to where, nobody decided to get any type of help, therapy or otherwise, right? Nobody decided like what the hell's going on, like, who's going to have those conversations. It just continued to flourish and grow and be passed on.
But see,
like,
I think
like it was a birthright.
You just said that that's the excuse that R. Kelly has. I don't think that that's an excuse. I think there's a reason for everything. I don't think that there's an excuse for the actions, to Adrian's point. So once he acts on that,
because
but it's not, if that's his experience, that's not an excuse. I don't believe. I do believe that trauma sets in.
Right, but at that point, we got to consider when the fuck do you begin to take any type of responsibility? Because you can't tell me nobody along the trajectory of your 40, 50-year-old life, somebody told you that, yo, you need to cut this shit the fuck out. Or you need
right.
to get
So
help.
Again, I just said there's a reason for everything. There's not an excuse for the action. I just said that.
Yeah, I hear you. Some motherfuckers make excuses though.
Yeah.
All right. So with the men got a listening problem. Okay. All right, Eddie. You could be emotional too. I'm gonna mute myself.
I'm not being emotional. I'm being direct. I know modern women are used to that from brothers, but I'm here too, bro.
Indeed. Said, what you think?
It's some sick shit going on in this world overall for me. We mentioned the Pandora's box. I post a lot of this stuff on my personal page. Most don't follow me in this situation, but I feel like our society as a whole is just going in a very bad direction overall, period. Once you, as we said before, once you accept, you can't put that wall back up. I don't care what it is. So let's take it to sports, just to kind of, for the guy that was 50 years old that decided he wanted to play female basketball, for the swimmer that decided he wanted to swim in female sports, you can't knock it if you accept the fact that he's saying that he's a female. You can't go back on that now at this point. Once you say, okay, I agree, he's allowed to call himself a female, you can't say, oh, but he can't do that female sport. That's kind of, that you can't do that. It's impossible. So now, for you or anyone to judge someone that says that they are part of this group of people now, whereas I don't agree with it because I don't agree with the first situation. You can't sit here and say, oh well, no, I can't do that. Now you're judging that individual, and you get mad when someone judges you. You can't put that wall back up at that point. You're gonna have to accept it because you want somebody to accept you for who you are and what you do.
Do you
But I
think
feel
it's
like
all? Oh, go ahead, Mary. Go ahead.
I feel like this is coming from somewhere completely different. Like, do I think it's gone too far? Hell yes, this shit gone too far. Because even with her comparison in regards to people being gay and who they love and things like that, those are two consenting people. Each state has a law about what's
You can't
considered
say that.
somebody
You
that's
can't say that
consenting.
based on the fact that you got 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds who's going out here chasing grown ass men that's 20 and 21. We seen this shit in high school. We seen this shit. We gonna
They
see
are
it.
both consenting people. They're consenting people.
Okay, that's still
pedophile is in
pedophilia.
regards.
That's pedophilia, any way you want to put it. That's pedophilia, but we know it. You know, girls, when you was in high school, when you was in middle school, fucking around with the drug dealers, fucking around with these grown ass men that was 21, 18, that's pedophilia, any way you want to put it.
Yes, we're not disagreeing with you, but that's also predatory behavior. Why the fuck would you at 20-something-year-old want a chick that isn't just mentally in itself? And what happens
I agree, but we accepted it. People accepted it.
What happens is that they groom these 15, 16-year-olds and they're like, oh, you so mature for your age, and that's in the third. But I'm pretty sure when that young lady gets to be of age and she has the time and the mindset to think back to it, like, yo, that's disgusting. So that's a different situation. And when you talk about with the pedophilia and we're talking about small children, you can't, at 7 or 8 years old, you can't consent.
You can't consent. You're not consenting.
To be honest, to a small child, and I hate to be as graphic as this, depending on what they're doing, the little kid may not think that it's wrong because it may feel good to them.
But you telling this 8-year-old that they can choose what sex they are. Make it make sense.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
I'm just saying in general, because people, you can't close the door. You cannot close the door. Once you say as a 7-year-old, 8-year-old to choose what sexuality,
One at a time.
who I love.
Different doors.
No, it's not. And that's the problem with society.
Wait. We can't hear y'all if y'all talking at the same time.
Let me, y'all go ahead.
That's two different
y'all
things.
two can
At
go.
8
But
years old, in my
Mm-hmm.
mind, in my opinion, in my perspective, you are not mature enough to go ahead and to say, you know what, I want to change my gender. I am not the individual who believes that. Nor do I think at 8 years old that you have the consent to say whether you think it feels good or whatever the case is, or that, oh, I trust as Adele. Do you have the consent to say this is okay? I don't think it's funny when people say like, oh, that's my boyfriend. Or it's not. It's disgusting.
But that's you. That's you, Alex.
Right.
That's you.
Right. So, in saying to your point, I want to be clear. Please don't confuse the two in that I'm thinking that an 8-year-old has the ability to have the capacity to say, I want to be this gender. I want to switch that. I don't want it to be confused at all.
Okay, but you know, it's whether or not you agree or disagree with what's going on. Overall, society is pushing a standard. They have opened Pandora's box, period, point blank. There's no shutting that bitch back now. These kids have too much access to too much shit in the palm of their hands. You know what I'm saying? You look at me and my wife was talking about it the other day, the ratings on movies and shows. You got 14 and under, and they basically fucking. Let's make this shit make sense. So you have all these colors and the rainbows and the flags saying that, okay, they could. Dwayne Wade, he's on now. His 14-year-old. Oh, I want the same thing. I want he can chew or she can all that. You see what I'm saying? Once you accept it, it is what it is at that point.
Period. That don't give nobody a pass either. That don't give nobody a pass either.
You're right. It don't give nobody a pass. But what I'm saying is, okay, you don't agree, Mary Berry. You don't agree, Alex. But there are a whole bunch of people out here in this world who have this push to say, accept, allow. They've opened up this door. Once you open up,
regardless of that, there's no such thing as a minor attracted person. I don't care what anybody say.
You saying that. You saying that. And okay, that's fine. You said that. Alex said that. we good with that. But there's a whole group of people. They got a whole flag. We just showed the flag that are making this push, and they're trying to push themselves in the other alphabet community. So again, what I said was, when it comes down to it, once you accept any of it, once you accept any of it, you can't close your door to any of it. That's my thing. That's how I feel about it. So once you accept this big 6'7" dude that was getting his ass beat swimming with men, allowed to go over here and swim with women, once you say, "Oh, nah, he's a woman," okay, well then you gotta allow him to do what women do. Period, point blank. It ain't no
repercussions. It could still be repercussions. What's gonna keep it in line is law.
He won his titles and he's good.
But
he still got his meat too.
As long as they keep the law,
He should have been swimming with women.
I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, you feel how they feel.
Mary, say what you said. Well, let Mary say what you said.
He feel like, all right, since you open the boxes, nothing anybody could do, just everybody just run the fuck free, whatever he feel like at this point. But at the same time, like there still can be laws in place to have some sense of control of something. You get what I'm saying? Like it doesn't have to be, oh, now you got to let anybody do whatever. Like, nah, still send these niggas to jail if they out here doing shit they ain't supposed to.
But I go back
I think that's something deep that Mary just said, because I guarantee, and you niggas could disagree with it because y'all probably will. If it wasn't laws against snatching pussy from women, half of you niggas would be rapists. I digress.
We super digress. How do we get there?
That's deep.
Cause she's right. It's still drawing the line. Like y'all just saying you could do whatever whenever. There's still laws.
Hold on.
Those who speak the loudest, I'm taking note. I love how Big said just said that's deep. Just let it rest. If there were not laws protecting women against rape, half you niggas, and I'm not talking about y'all, would be snatching pussy off women. But because there are laws that protect women, y'all don't.
What are you basing that off of?
That was just a different segue. Like that's a point. That's a legitimate point. It was an interesting segue. But to Mary's to comment, I started off with the context of this being profound Euro culture, right? So yes, those laws exist, Q, right? But again, we gotta consider where these motherfuckers are coming from. They run everything, the policy, all of that shit, right? So they're gonna push for what they're probably already doing in the dark. They've been doing it forever. Now they're trying to push and bring it to the light. So those laws that you're talking about, prime example, Joe Biden's son. That laptop that they opened up got this nigga fucking kids, doing crack, all sorts of wild ass shit. If you spend any type of time looking at some of those pictures or whatever, that motherfucker is wild. He is a son's president. He's not gonna get touched.
Yeah,
you know
but you're talking about a completely
you're
different
talking
issue
about all these laws that exist and all the above. There are people that live above those laws. Now, in terms of Q's comment and the animalistic, barbaric nature of people, you're absolutely right. And some of those laws that still exist still don't stop these motherfuckers. You might catch a few, but it's not going to stop.
Right, but so no one's saying take the laws out of place that apply to pedophiles. And I think that's kind of what Mary was saying, that there will be laws in place for those people.
Exactly.
So
Keep
that's
those
my
laws
segue.
in place. Like if they are able to obtain that category of minor attractive persons, that means that they're gonna fight to get certain laws taken out of place. What I'm saying is they should not. Like it should stay the way it is. People should be held responsible for what they did.
No, so you know what they're gonna do with it though? They're gonna do just how they're doing kind of with addiction, right? They're gonna call it a disease. They're gonna normalize it, and then instead of locking them up, they're gonna send them to treatment or some type of like therapy, so they will still be able to be out and roam free. They're gonna do it the same way they do it with addiction.
But that has nothing to do with live your truth and live and be free and do what you want. It has more to do with Eddie's point. It's something that's more common in the hierarchy. Therefore, they will support it for themselves.
Well, I don't want Q to get away with half you niggas would be taking pussy, because I think that was completely disingenuous. Because morals still stand, right? So if you're, I know you don't. I mean, if you're talking about the laws of this land, but there was law long before that. And raping is punishable by death in a lot of the books in which our community stands on, in both main books. So we have moral laws in our community that frown against that, regardless of what the laws and the construct of this land is. And those are created by men. And the reason why men don't take pussy is because other men protect women. So I think that's the key.
To Adrian's
That's cute.
That's
to
just
Adrian's
real. It's
to
real
Adrian's
too.
point, and I had this conversation some time ago, the way that we say that drug addiction is a disease. I am, and like 10, 20 years ago it was criminal offense, but now there's this whole opioid movement. And that happened because we had a lot of there were more it was happening in the suburban areas. So what I'm curious to know is, are we changing the term from pedophilia to minor attracted person because it's starting to come up now in these suburban homes or in these more affluent places? Is that why we're changing the term so that people don't feel as bad? Well, little Billy is a minor attracted person. Just like we
Yeah.
say, well, Billy has a substance abuse problem instead of saying that he's a druggie or a
Yeah.
crackhead or whatever the case is.
Alex, that was one of her main points in that, where
Yeah.
she said the pedophilia term is no longer just like an orientation, but now has a negative connotation that is
That's
um
shit.
so she said that was like one of the first points too, Alex. So I think that is like one of the keys, for
And
sure, right? To take the
But it
stigma.
seems
besides,
like Alex is saying it fits more towards a specific class of people.
Right. And that's why we're changing
That's
the
what I was
term
saying.
for minor attracted person, because it's not just a black people thing. It's not just these poor people. I think it's happening a lot more common. And as you know, when Edgy was saying, like, a lot of these things are they start very young. It's a cycle of abuse. So, we have more people going to therapy now. They're coming out and they're saying, yeah, like, I touched my little cousin or I touched my little brother. And I think it's because it's not, and my theory is that it's something that's starting to be talked about a lot more. And they're realizing, similar that what we were doing with substance abuse issues, is that, okay, it doesn't just affect this population of people. Let's give it a different name and let's classify it as a mental health issue, and now let's try to get some treatment and therapy, because that's going to be the next thing. They're not going to be going to jail. They're going to be going to a facility to get some intense therapy to figure it out.
But at that point, why would they even send them to therapy to try to figure it out if it's quote unquote okay?
Because it's white.
So would that really end up being the plan?
It's already failed in multiple examples of grown men who consider themselves transgender and they just put a wig on, right? The number of rapes committed by these same people is high as hell, right? So it's just like, okay, I'm a minor attracted person, a fucking pedophile. Let's say we begin to consider this shit a mental health issue. You are labeled as a whatever, and now you back in the streets, labeled this thing, and you're under therapy, and you're supposed to stay away from children, stay away from schools, all that other shit. Is that going to stop you? These are laws, these are policies, right? Like Mary was saying, right? It's not going to stop you. You still going, you going to smell it out. You going, don't play that shit. Like,
but the one thing about all this, like we could feel how we want to feel about all this shit, but realistically, in this country, majority of the states, the age of consent is 16. That's a fact. In a lot of other countries over Europe and all that, it's as low as 14. So what laws are we talking about? You know what I mean? What laws are we really talking about breaking? If the age of consent is 16, in our minds, that's pedophilia. That's what we're looking at. Anything, I mean, we can say, okay, younger. However, in me, anything under the legal age, but the legal age is 16 technically. You
and
know
that's
what I mean?
historic across human history, right?
Exactly.
Like,
And that's my point. So when I say we got these high school girls fucking with these 21, these 20-year-old, and then we
ass
look at
niggas.
it like they get older, they look some kind of way. No, they don't really. I know plenty. I know plenty, and they are the degrees, the whatever, the whatever you want to call them, the echelons of higher echelons. So my point is, once you open Pandora's box, there's no stopping it. Period. It's not going to change.
Hmm. Nay, I saw you on mute. What you think?
I'm thinking about the whole political part of it. And I think you're right. It's a way to promote mental health and to have municipalities say, okay, you know, we can get funding from the state to support mental health awareness. We do it everywhere to get government funding. It's just a way to push the mental health awareness. And I think that's probably what it's going to become. When I think of pedophilia, I don't I think of minor attracting people, yes, because it's the same exact thing. Like pedo means, I think I looked up, it's like pedo has to do with children and phile is the fondness of it's the same exact thing. So I don't know why we're trying to make it seem like it's something different to soften the blow. It's exactly the same thing. And that's just another way to say it's a mental health disorder and disease. So our municipalities can go ahead and apply for state funding so we can have mental health facilities to accommodate people with this disorder. So we can say we are the first state or we're the first municipality to have that. And it makes us look good.
Do you think so? Because I think it more feels like they're trying to fight to get the same acknowledgement as the LGBTQIA plus. Where
Exactly.
if you say that that is a mental disorder, that would be highly offensive. And they actually took it out of the I forget the exact name of the books, right? But it has all the different diseases for psychology and such. They took it out. I think it was 1985 because it was considered a disease, but people were saying no. I don't have control over this. I was born like this, so on and so forth, and this is my orientation. So I
There's
don't know
things
if
that
these people.
happen there's things that happen to you as a child,
No,
obviously,
I'm
and it
just
will
saying
probably
what.
cause you to want to do that.
No, I understand, but I'm just saying. But you see how they're probably going to be offended, just how the LGBTQIA plus was offended when it was called a disease before. And I don't hear them saying it's a disease. I'm hearing them saying it's a class, it's a orientation.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Just saying, you know what I mean? Just in terms of how they're looking at it. And I think I was thinking this, and I think this is I kind of what maybe Q kind of said it or Alex,
That's what
but
I said.
yeah,
Because
when it starts affecting them, like it becomes an epidemic, right? Where
Mhm.
crack wasn't,
That's a good point.
but what's that shit? Methamphetamine was though,
And
right?
opioids.
Opioids.
That's why we have
Yeah,
now
opioid
it's
clinics now.
Opioids.
epidemic.
yeah.
Yeah, they got
Keep
opioid
on
centers.
going.
All that.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Shannon,
I
you
could
had a thought. You were like shaking your head.
I mean, overall, just the world is not interested in protecting children or women anymore.
Mm,
So nothing surprises me.
damn.
I could smoke a bag of whatever everybody's saying about, where it's gonna move into mental health. I agree with Hamp though. I don't think that that's the move. I think it sounds more like normalizing it to the point where it's like, oh, this is just a group of people. There are a group of people who are attracted to minors. Um, it's just like how even in the gay community, there's like the F word that you can't say no more. And then there's like she said in the opening, the her, she, this, it, that, at, all this other shit. Like it's we want to call it everything that's not. It's very much giving the LGBTQ whatever y'all know the rest agenda more so than you know getting help for people with a mental health illness.
Yeah. You're right, Q. And overwhelmingly, I just want to say this too. From what I was just looking up, the LGBTQIA plus community was not feeling this at all. Like I didn't see anything where there was support for it out of that community. And
Because
again, I
again,
did
it's a
it quickly.
comparison. It's a bad comparison when you think about these group of people and that group of people. Like you can't, like
It's
it's not related. I don't think it's related in any way. Yes, it may be what something somebody classifies themselves as, but those are not related. So I wouldn't even that lady compared it to that community versus this community. Oh, they're all the same people, whatever.
Mhm.
No, these are
and
two
there's a
different people.
it's damaging to their mission because or their goal and getting acknowledgement because you're talking about children who are vulnerable who don't and can't consent. I'm sorry, they can't. If
Yeah.
you choose to love a woman love a woman, a man love a man, you can consent to that as adults and live
Right.
your life and be who you want to be. But we're talking about protecting children.
And like
Like
you said, it makes the community look so bad because it's like this is already where the stereotype of gay men are sleeping with little boys and stuff like that all the time. You know what I mean? That's a very, you know, high thing they got going on that people do think of gay men. So it's kind of like you're trying to bind them together when realistically that's not the case.
And
it's not far fetched though.
Wait, hold on. I got a quick question about that. So when we was talking about, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, when y'all were talking about the LBGTQ, I'm sorry, I don't know all the letters, but how I think it was a few people who said they feel like most people are born like that, right? You're born attracted to who you are attracted to. So if
I don't
these
believe that.
people are,
I personally don't believe that.
Well, for anybody, is there anybody here who believes that the majority of people are born? Oh, well, never mind. Then my bad. Go ahead. I could have swore somebody said that on the show that they felt like more people were born that way. To be attracted to the never mind.
I just gotta so taking the childlike part out of it, and let's say maybe like if someone says they're attracted to like a 12-year-old or something like that. Long story short, I used to work with a pedophile who's in jail now, right? We just found out like and when I tell you, so very, very long story short, but when I tell you it was a business partner in the tech world and owned a whole business, multimillionaire, had a wife, and whole images, all that. FBI tracked him. He's in jail for 2 years, and I'm sure because he gave him his whole roll book of who he was selling the pictures to. I said, that's all he got.
That's
it? I'm sure he gave out all the people he was giving the pictures to. Yeah. And obviously he's acted on it. But I broke bread with this man, one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. Normal as I don't know what. And, has been caught multiple times. Right? So here's my question when I was really thinking through it. It must be something about the child itself, like the childlike mind or something like that. Because you can find a woman that is built like a child if you really want to be if you're really attracted to that. You can find a frail of
but Shanny,
there's those fetishes out
Shanny,
there.
that's what I was saying earlier.
They're there.
It's psychological trauma.
Yeah, but that's what me and Mary were saying when it came to the high schooler and the grown ass man.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the physical. It's all psychological trauma. So mentally, they're attracted to where they are stuck mentally.
And I
on the emotional scale.
And that's the closest I've ever been to someone I know was a pedophile. And knew outside of just work. I only knew him through work, but it was I knew him as an intelligent businessman, leader, all these other things. And it's just this what you choose to do?
Yeah,
what are you attracted to? Beautiful wife.
Was he a European?
Yeah, he was white. Wife was from Trinity.
Oh,
blood.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
That's exactly why he got
wife at home. And
be divesting this shit.
it just blew my mind. It blew everyone's mind. He told everybody he had cancer, and that's why he was out of town a lot. He's in jail. So as we found out. So yeah.
I mean, people can disguise a lot of stuff. But is there credence to the fact that you accept every single thing all the time? And then is it fair that you get to choose when you don't want to accept anymore? Does it actually stop at kids? Because everybody's always in support of everything. Maybe not everybody on this panel, but largely people are rooting and cheering and championing anything that Dwayne Wade's son is doing, so on and so forth. Maybe they're scared to get canceled. Maybe they don't actually mean these things.
What is championing that shit? That's some bullshit.
No, I know, but just in the world, you see it up and down every day.
A community around social deviance, right? We've set the line of what is acceptable in society.
No, I got you, but how do we stop it here though?
It doesn't stop. There's always blanket statement. There's always a community around social deviance.
No, Shannon. What I'm saying is they have a LGBTQ plus person in every cartoon, every TV show, every this, every that, right?
Agenda.
So now, what makes it gonna just automatically halt? Right? if we're saying everything's okay all the
Children's
time.
books now got the gay
saying
BCs,
it's
all
not.
sorts of shit.
They got the what, Eddie?
Yeah. Bro, there's a book called the Gay
Yeah,
BCs,
it
and
is.
every
It
letter
is.
is some
You ain't
wild
lying.
shit.
Yeah.
Like A is for
Oh,
anus,
definitely.
B is for
Yep.
biatch, like some other shit. I'm just
So I
It
like,
feel
said
like
L was
this
for lesbian and
to
G is for
actually
gay. It
answer
does.
him's
I've seen it.
question. I think that if we said as a whole, as a group of people, we don't like that, we disagree with it, those people who have those desires will find where it is accepted. It's like, who was it? Tyga? Somebody took some girl out of the country to fuck her when she was underage. They'll figure out a way to do what they want to do.
yeah, that's what I
So
said earlier. Like they're gonna do what the fuck, like all those laws and all that. I'm like, yo, it exists. It exists now.
But in
But if
terms
niggas
of
want to,
but in terms of making it normal, right? Like like everything else. Are you guys saying that you're confident that our society, the buck's gonna stop here?
no,
who would think that?
I
it's
don't think
already
it's going
here.
to. I think they're going
Exactly.
to and keep on pushing, just like the other communities have. And Miss Mary Berry says something about it as far as like the community as a whole. But when it comes to the LGBTQRS community, one of my issues, personal issues that I've had with it, is that they try to compare themselves to what Black people and the Black race went through. They tried to say, how are you going to judge us when y'all were judged or y'all went through this? And I have an issue with that comparison. So, I understand like Q, you're an outlier, you're different. You don't agree with like the Dwayne Wade thing. You don't agree with certain things, you know what I'm saying? You stand on what you stand on. I get that. But there are millions of other people that champion that shit. Like it's cool. You see what I'm saying? And that's where the problem comes in. Like we could say us as a panel, as a group, we don't agree, whoopty whoopty, yada yada yada. But that's not going to stop that ball from rolling and getting to wherever it is that it's going to get to. And that's what I think Hemp is saying. That is it going to stop? No, I don't see it stopping personally because they're going to use what the LGBTQ community used to try to get to where, so they're going to segue from what they did and the LGBTQ try to segue and say the blacks and it's just going to keep transitioning how it's transitioning.
Interesting, man. Any final thoughts on that?
They gonna use everybody else's pain to support their bullshit. That's what I think Big Set is saying.
There you go.
So,
I agree with that. Complete separation, man. We got the solution, man. Elijah done
It's gonna
told you,
separate
Malcolm done
us.
told you, Farrakhan done told you.
Yes, they gonna
Complete
separate us.
separation, man. And then not all niggas can come either. Marcus Garvey.
That's a fact, though. I like it. That's definitely a topic we gonna touch. If we create Negro Town, how would that look?
Well, they burned the last one down, so we're gonna have to try again.
They done burned a lot of them down.
Yeah, burn a few of them down.
Facts.
Damn. All right, let's save that. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Damn, that shit is. I'm looking at my goddamn daughter sleep. I could just imagine. Dirt trails, church bells, and slow songs, man. So, I don't really fuck with Jerry Springer, especially after this conversation. But I do like one of his constructs. Shanny. Oh shit, I gotta find you first. Final thought.
Muted.
You muted. Oh my god.
Bruh. Wow.
All right. Okay. Hello. Back to what I was saying before. The world hates women and children and will never be fully protected, and it's just getting worse. There you go.
You know that's a topic coming for sure.
Definitely.
Big Sad.
Man, fuck them pedophiles. Anybody that's fucking around out here trying to fuck with these kids, I feel the same way as you have. They need to go lay down under the ground somewhere. But at the end of the day, everybody has an agenda, and they're going to try to segue off of whoever got their way through it. At some point, we can try to stop it as much as we want, but the way society is going, shit's fucked up out here.
Word. Miss Nay.
Like the old folks used to say, we in the end times, the last days. So right now, anything is going, anything's acceptable. I don't agree, but we in the last days.
Eddie.
Fire upon pedophile.
Alex.
I think it's nasty still. I don't agree with changing the name and the title of it. And don't be surprised when they try to deem this, like we did with the opioid crisis, as a mental health problem and trying to find all these solutions and backing it. It doesn't make sense.
Mary.
Protect your kids because nobody else will.
Adrian.
Yeah, so you know how they say like the more you know, the more you don't know. So as I just keep learning more and more things, yo, the only thing I know is, man, I'm probably gonna die early or be in jail, man, because I'm gonna hurt one of these niggas, bro. Like, we not about to just be allowing all types of stuff, and it's bothering me to a point to where, you know what I mean, I don't know. But yeah, man, y'all work on yourselves, get healthy, and don't come near my family, y'all. That's it.
Q.
I think if you go out of your way to hurt children, I can give a fuck about your hurt feelings. I am not calling you a minor attracted person. I am calling you a pedophile. That being said, hide your wife, hide your kids.
Yo, this shit was like ordained because yesterday I was at, what's the sandwich place? Not Jimmy John, one of them. And this dude, this white dude is with this black girl, but like I'm saying girl like on purpose. She looked real young. They was like holding hands, right? And so I'm looking, then they come in Jimmy John's. And I had this, I'm like, sis, how old are you? She like, why you ask me? I said, how old are you? Period. You know what I'm saying? The white dude standing there looking dumbfounded. But I'm kind of looking at him and looking at both of them. You know what I'm saying? And she like, I'm 26. I said, man. I said, how old are you, boy? I had to come up, I'm trying to incite something. He's like, nah, dude, she's of it. Like he like start like he got real, they get
Got
red
tight,
and all
got
that.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm dressed up. I'm coming, I'm at work, like just eating. But she's like, I'm this old, this, that, and the third. So I let it ride. But it made me feel some type way, And I get it. Maybe women and children feel unprotected, but even a child that, may not align with like my beliefs. I don't care where they white, black, orange. Like if somebody hurting a child, I'm gonna do something about it. Like you have to. And especially for the men listening, the men on this panel, you have to intervene if it's with a child.
Yep.
Like you don't have no choice. Risk reward. You know we got kids and all. It's a baby. It's a child. 12 years old. That's a baby.
It's a kid, man.
You see an older lady struggling with that water at Costco. One, she shouldn't have came by her motherfucking self to get the water, but that's neither here nor there. Help her with the water. That's your obligation.
Just helped the old lady the other day.
Yeah. And where we live, it's a lot of us too. So it make it easy. And they even tell you, hey, son, can you help me with this water? They turn around assuming you're gonna help. They don't even really ask. For real. So
she definitely yelled at me like, "Hey, boy!" I was like,
"Yeah." They'd be like, "Come on, help me with this." Like,
with
you
this.
just go. Yes, ma'am. So I don't know, Shan. We're gonna explore that for sure. But for these kids, if you gotta risk it, man. So like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, and we out.